Each and every day, the information coming out of Gaza paints a devastating and dangerous picture about the humanitarian crisis taking hold across the Strip. And while much of the international community lays blame at the feet of Israel for the situation, it in turn is blaming Hamas, saying it could all be over if Israeli hostages are released. Although it must be said, there is no guarantee that would happen, certainly based on the rhetoric we have heard from Israeli leaders in recent times about the need to destroy the militant group. Palestinian health authorities have reported 15 people have died across Gaza in the last day from starvation and malnutrition. 4 of them were children. The Ministry of Health saying it takes the tally of famine-related deaths to more than 180 children among them. Israel says it treats the delivery of aid into the Strip with utmost importance, accusing Hamas of disrupting aid supplies, something the militant group denies. The UN says its staff are also suffering as a result of these food shortages, with many fainting while on the job. It's a concern being shared by one of the world's leading news agencies, Agence France-Presse, or AFP, which has issued a statement about its journalists and photographers. It says it has lost journalists over the years in war zones, but not from starvation. This is a dangerous situation, not only for those involved, but for the world, given the reliance there is on local journalists to tell the story of the war in Gaza, with international media not allowed into the Strip. The UN Secretary-General says there are multiple examples of flagrant breaches of international law, setting a dangerous precedent.
The cost is staggering, measured in human lives, shattered communities, and lost futures. We need look no further than the horror show in Gaza, with a level of death and destruction without parallel in recent times.
Israel is continuing its bombardment of Gaza, including in Deir al-Balah in the centre of the Strip, an area which has been relatively untouched until now. It's forced the displacement of thousands as Israel targets claimed Hamas fighters and facilities, the IDF raiding a World Health Organization compound in the process. There's been discussion about why Deir al-Balah hasn't been hit until now, with Israeli media reporting it's because it's where Israeli hostages are believed to be held. And in the last short while, the Islamic Jihad group said it lost contact with fighters holding one of those hostages in an area recently hit inside Gaza. And some of the Christian faith's most senior clerics have addressed the media after a short trip to Gaza. The visit was prompted by Israeli forces hitting Gaza's only Catholic church last week, which the Israeli Prime Minister said he deeply regretted, but only after he got off the phone with the US President Donald Trump. Now back from the war-ravaged Strip, the Latin or Catholic Patriarch of Jerusalem, Pier Battista Pizzaballa, and the Greek Orthodox Patriarch of Jerusalem, Theophilus III, spoke of returning with broken hearts, seeing people starving in the streets in an area they described as being all but totally destroyed.
We are not against Israel, we are not against Jewish people, but we need to say with frankness and clarity that this policy of the Israeli government in Gaza is unacceptable, and morally we cannot justify it.
The ABC asked the Latin Patriarch whether he believed Israel's explanation of the Gaza church, the Holy Family Church, being hit by a fragment of an Israeli shell. He responded that he is no military expert and wanted to stress his focus on the broader situation in Gaza, saying Christians are not the only victims of this deadly conflict.